We are live here at Dover for the Veterans for Life ARCA series here at Dover. And folks, you have just caught it right at the nick of time right here. We are getting gridded up, getting ready to rock and roll here at Dover. I am the redneck announcer, Jake Reeves. Got the Australian Dean Biggles up here producing and calling a little bit up here in the box. We'll go ahead and get you the grid right here, folks. Andy Kurtz, who's been on a tear this season. Not so much the past 2 weeks, but has been on a tear here this season with 4 wins. He's going to start from the pole. To his outside, it's going to be Jake Ellingson in the number 27. Right behind them is going to be Alex Cruz in the number 5. Lucas Lyons is going to start in the 4th spot. Ryan Pendleton is going to start in the 5th spot with Eric Talent starting 6th. Tanner Bethea is going to start 7th with John Anthony to his outside in that 8th spot. Timothy Wellman, I believe it is, will start in the 9th spot with Johnny Cofield. Out there, he's going to be starting in the 10th spot. Jeremiah Holt, he's going to start 11th. Michael McCarthy will start 12th. Chance Taylor 13th. I believe that is Alric Martinez in 14th spot. Then Matt Knight's 15th. Doug Ellingson, old Dougie out there in the 58. He's going to start 16th. Going to have Cameron Wessenberg will be in the 17th spot. He's the last driver to actually put down a qualifying time. The rest of these drivers did not put down a time, that being Brandon Wallace, James Gossett, Brian Abbott, Cameron Mason, James Haney, the Oreo guy out there in the number 55, and Mark Hollifield. That's going to be the 22 drivers that is getting ready to rock and roll here at Dover. Dean, I am pumped because last time me and you was here at Dover, we saw a hell of a race with the concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series. I got a feeling we're in store for it here tonight with these ARCA guys.
I get a feeling that tonight's going to be a good night, and well, exactly. And if you look at that weather, my friend, rain is coming. So just to really throw us better in the mix on these cars. Unfortunately, they have no wet weather tires, so it ain't going to happen. Hello out there, Ray. Good to see you. Apologies for the broadcast being a day late, dollar short. Just the usual stuff that's been happening with iRacing of late. But at least we got this one live, unfortunately, unlike last night. But yes, everything starts to working. Everything's starting to fix itself up back again. Now that so it's all being resolved. Updates and patches. Well, Jacob, they're lining up, and Barney's going to win that flag.
Yes, sir. Barney the flagman standing there waiting and waiting and waiting to wave the green flag. Barney waving that flag. Andy Kurtz, Jake Ellingson all on that gas pedal. Ellingson, he's actually going to back away just a little bit, try to jump down in line right behind him. Alex Cruz down here. Lucas Lyons just said, screw it, I'm taking it all the way around the top side. He's going to be able to get a run. Here comes Jake Ellingson. He's going to take it all the way to the inside. He's going to challenge for the lead here early.
He wants it. He wants it. He says, Andy, you might have put it on pole, but I'm going to be the one trying to steal away from him. You can't. Lucas getting that one position in the back there. And Jake might want to look to get a hurry up because this pack of 4 now is starting to get a little bit of a separation from Ryan in P5.
Yeah, they are absolutely starting to separate big time. Good call on that one, Dean. But I'm telling you, Andy up here leading. You got Jake. Matter of fact, last time both of these guys was on a concrete track, which was Nashville, Jake actually was able to get the better of Andy. Andy ended up, well, he didn't really cause anything. He just got caught up in a lot of crap, and then ended up screwing him. And then Jake ends up prevailing at Nashville. So this is real good, familiar territory, I guess you could say, for Jake Ellingson to be here on a concrete track back where he got his first win of the season. But Lucas Lyons, holy hell, got the whole back end sideways. He is all up in the back bumper of Jake Ellingson. Cruz right behind him. Pendleton up here as well. Top 5 trying to break away, but Talent trying to see if he can jump on as well. As actually Talent now has about a half a second gap over Tanner Bethea.
Yeah, there's Eric catching that pack at the moment there. Lucas just set the fastest lap on that last, and now he's dropped off a little bit from Jake. Can quite perhaps get that exit there to slip into the slipstream that you need there to catch up to that tailpipe. As Jake started to cut Andy. Andy got away a little bit there, and Jake's he's throwing his fishing line out there a little bit deeper there and caught the end bumper of Andy, and he's like, you're not getting away from me, Andy. You're not getting away. As these two are starting to slowly pull a little bit away there from Lucas.
I'm telling you, boy, Jake almost just tail slapped the fence right there coming off of 4. He's able to keep it straight. These guys right here absolutely all but get out driving the hell out of these cars. And that's something that you're going to see tonight here, folks, at Dover. This track, it absolutely is crazy on the tires, especially coming right there off of turn number 4. There you see them when they actually got off of the turn and got on the straightaway. You saw them, it was like they was on a roller coaster right there, Dean. They just kind of just jumped over what is a hump. Basically doing the same thing right here off of 2 as you're riding on board with Jake. Check it out. Bam! Straight down into it. Got all the G-forces going straight down into the car. And then you'll see right here's where the car is going to get a little light. Kurt's actually got a little bit light, as well as Jake did. I'm sure Lucas and Alex was back there getting as light as all get out as well. This place right here will eat up tires big time. If they were in Gen 4s, they would be in some serious trouble as hard as they're driving right now.
You can see the rear sliding. It's sliding all the time. It's like your go-kart track. Of course, you've got a power slide in the corner. We got a caution on the Speedway.
Yeah, we got a caution on the Speedway. Looks like it's Brandon Wallace back there in the back. Got spun around. There was actually some contact in front of him that actually got all of this triggered. And I believe it was Johnny Cofield in the 27, I believe it was.
Oh, there it is. Yeah,
we're actually going to look right here.
Yeah,
he ends up getting into the 32. Yes, Jeremiah Holt in a 32. Cofield gets into Holt, sends him straight into the fence. And then basically there you see the snowplow effect, I guess you could say, jump straight up. And wow, Brandon Wallace, he just didn't give a damn. He just kept it on the floor trying to find a way around it. Dean, that's what you got to do sometimes. You see a wreck in front of you, you just find a hole, just hit the gas and just close your eyes and pray and just honestly pray like hell that you can get through it.
Absolutely. That's exactly what you do, Jacob. Like, you've got to go. It's a gamble, too. It's 50-50, isn't it? You go either high or low. In that case, you go stick down to the low fence. You know, we should be able to escape it, of course. Just got tagged, of course, and the other driver behind, nowhere to go. Bingo. That's a T-bone. But it's a gamble, right? Because you also go up in the high, and of course, that car could have bounced into the wall and then rebound back up to the track, right? So you just never know. It all happens. Of course, we got the replays that are slow, Jacob, but you're at full time, full speed. You have a millisecond to think about what to do, and that's just the luck of the draw. That's once again, I keep explaining this. It's like if you don't want to get in wrecks all the time, just get yourself up the front where Andy and Jake are. Okay, it's just as simple as that. Just qualify in P1. But then again, they're going to have traffic and stuff later on, Jacob. But that's all, right? It does help you a little bit.
Oh, I mean, not really. I mean, Dean, I mean, I agree with you on that point, but I mean, you want to stay out of the wrecks. I mean, hell, I've seen wrecks happen at the front of the field. I've seen them up there where Andy Kurtz, Jake, Lucas, and Alex is. I've seen them wreck up there at the front as well as back there in the back. So, I mean, you kind of get in that position to where you really don't know what the hell to do at that point. Do you want to be up front or do you want to be at the back? Most of the time, I see what you're saying. You want to have a better shot at being at the front because you got a less chance of getting caught up in all the mess back there, which is where Cofield and Wallace and all of them was involved in. So I see what you're getting at. Try to, stay ahead of the wreck, but I mean, here at Dover, you really don't know where that wreck is going to happen. This place is, in my opinion, it's like a mini Talladega to a certain extent. And granted, why I say that, it's not because of the speed, it's not because of the draft, it's just because of the unpredictability that this track holds, honestly. I mean, you could have a hell of a race, a clean race, all the way 9 ways to Sunday like we had Friday night with the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series. And I know you was very, very, very happy with how everything went. You actually posted on your Twitter. I haven't got around to it. I've been busy here this week, but
one of the best
hopefully going to be getting to it.
Ever.
Yes.
One of the best broadcasts I've ever done. And I do quite a few with different networks as well and different racing leagues. And that was one of the best ever with you too. So that was fair. And I enjoyed really the production in the background of that one. Let's see at the moment whether or not Andy can get a good jump on the inside there, or is Jake going to give him a run for his money and finally take the lead of this race? Lucas, of course, is going to be lurking in the background, as well as Alex Cruz as your top 4.
Here we go. And Kurtz, he's going to get a fantastic jump. Jake, not so much. Lucas Lyons, he's actually going to get a pretty good jump. He's going to go all the way from 3rd up to 2nd. Jake's going to have to get out of the gas, try to drop down in behind him, but Andy Kurtz getting away big time as Jake Ellingson just smacked the fence coming off of turn 2. He's going to open the door wide open for Ryan Pendleton in the 23. Pendleton down on the bottom. Jake just trying to hold on to it, trying to get down. Finally, he does. but not after he ends up losing 2 spots to Lyons and Pendleton, as Kurt's still trying to chuck away or trying to get away with the lead anyway.
And Jake's going to try to get this one back at the moment. That little tangled defense, of course, is going to be a little bit of a danger zone. But it looks like the car's okay. We're right on board for a little bit there for a second there, Jacob. You can give me an idea as a racing driver as you are on Monday nights. Is the steering wheel really bent up or not? I mean, he is angling quite a bit to the right-hand side. He hits the rev limiter. And, of course, this is the bit where you fight it, right? The steering wheel. It's not like these Formula 1 cars you see sometimes. I'm sitting there looking up. They're just holding up dead center until they get to the corners. These things, man, you've got to keep fighting it and fighting it and fighting it. It's like a wild beast you're trying to tame.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm looking at his car right here, honestly, Dean. I mean, it doesn't look bad. I think what you're seeing right there out of the steering wheel is these guys, they do have the option, even though this is a fixed league. These guys do have options to make certain adjustments on these cars. They can either make it with the steering ratio, or they can flip it around and make it with the steering offset. And I think what he's got right now is he's actually got the offset kicked more to the right, as we see Lucas Lyons actually, he ends up smacking the fence as well. Jake's going to be able to bypass him, but I don't think his wheel's actually off, honestly, Dean. I think it's just the offset of how he's got it to the right, because it's actually going to make him a little bit more looser, help him get into the corners a little bit more.
Yeah, fair enough. I didn't realize that you could set that up. We can see with the different drivers as well, too, how they like the car and how it feels. You can see at the moment the dirty air. Tanner's really struggling here, and he's got dirty air both cars. I wouldn't suggest going down in the middle. He has to lift a little bit there. In fact, he might have tagged him. And this is what you're talking about right now there, Jacob, that you can see they're starting to power slide a little bit. Those tires are starting to fall off the cliff, and therefore those walls are getting a little awfully too close for some drivers.
Absolutely, and this place right here will straight up eat your tires alive. And there you see Tanner. He was able to get the run off of the corner. Talent actually had to get out of the gas, or he was going to fence him straight up into the wall. But he better watch his back bumper. Here comes John Anthony up here. Started 8, still sitting in 8. Trying to get as many spots as he can. A couple of drivers up here that we need to note that's actually been in some serious gains, as we do see a battle for second right here. Jake all up in the back bumper of Ryan Pendleton. A couple of drivers that's making some huge gains right now. James Goshen 18th up to 12th. Brian Abbott 19th up to 13th. Then you got Haney back there, the Oreo guy, started 21st. He's up to 15th. So a couple of drivers back here in the back that have started at the back are able to make their way to the front. Jeremiah Holt, Michael McCarthy, 1 lap down right now. But I'm telling you, these two right here, Jake wants to try to get back up here and see if he can get up here and get a hold of Andy Kurtz.
You can see right now they're all starting to float at that fence. And you're kind of wondering at the moment there, Jacob, isn't it? Like these drivers are going, we need a caution, please. Somebody give us a caution, because this is at some point it's going to be a caution, because there's too many people floating with that fence right now. And if you flirt, you might get in trouble. And you can see at the moment there's got to be action everywhere on the track. And I'm not to mention there, Jacob, at some point they're going to start catching lap traffic soon. It's going to be a huge dilemma, and there's not enough space around here, isn't it? There's no 3 wide too much. You're going to be bold and brave on that one. You can see the 20 machine's clearly quicker here, but he's blocked in.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it is right here. I mean, everybody's just...
Oh, see?
Save it, son, save it. And he damn sure did. What a save right there. But I believe that is Lucas Lyons in the number 48. He done all he could to hold on that number 48. He almost lost it. Here comes Pendleton. Brian Pendleton in the 23, all up in that back bumper of Andy Kurtz. Kurtz slides up a little bit. Pendleton going to try to get the run. Look right behind him. Jake Ellingson back up here as well. 3-horse race, as these three have separated themselves by about 2.5 seconds over Alex Cruz back and forth. He may be in the best position out of all of them, Dean, because these three guys throw a blanket over all 3 of them.
And, well, exactly. You can see them down the main to start another lap here. It'll be lap 24 with 57 to go there now, Jacob. And the tire territory. You see how much more speed that Jake gets into the corner there, but then, of course, he has to back off because he starts getting that dirty air. And he's doing a good job of holding off Ryan for that P2 position. As you see that big gap down the back stretch, that's 58 and a 29 machine. They're running in P21, P22. Jeremy's a little bit lapped down. But here we go, opportunities. And are they going too quickly, Jacob? Do you think that they might get a danger point where they're going to burn their tires out too much? And will that be a play for Alex Cruz and Tanner and all that behind? But let's find out first.
I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, Pendleton really wants this lead bad. There you see. I mean, he kind of had a run, tried to dive it in there, tries to get the nose down there. He's able to get it down there, and he's actually going to put Kurtz up on the top side. Kurtz is going to get into the fence, but no intention. Honestly, I mean, Pendleton, he had the spot right there. Kurtz, I mean, he was just there. I mean, Pendleton didn't get out of the gas. Kurtz just trying to hold it down and try not to get into the fence. I mean, that's just racing right there, Dean. It's just, it gets really tight over there off of turn 4. We saw that a lot Friday night, and we're seeing it here tonight as well. As Lucas Lyons, we saw him actually get into the fence. Somewhere. Jake Ellingson as well. Pendleton, I mean, it was there. I mean, there you see it right here off of turn 4. Watch this, bam! 86 gets into the wall. Everybody looked like they kept it straight, but the 86 actually ends up spinning around, but no caution. Now the caution comes out.
I was going to say they're a little dollar short on that one with race control because there was 2 cars. I mean, he tagged everybody here at this point. You can see it's like a ping pong machine, wasn't it? Boom, 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 boom. Trying to keep it to use the other cars, of course. So this is where the 64 goes in the fence. But use the other cars.
I think that's your caution.
Help you out.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I mean, it was day late and a dollar short. I mean, what the hell? I mean, but...
Like, bang, bang. Okay, thank you. I'm back straight. Thank you. And then at that point, lifted it up, bang, you're into the fence. And there's got to be pit time territory, isn't it? You've got to go in, wouldn't you? I mean, or is it still too soon?
No. I mean, I think you're going to go right here, obviously. I mean, tires is big time key right here. I mean, they got 4 sets of tires, 1 on the car, and then 3 sitting in the pits. Obviously, I mean, granted, it is still a little bit shy of halfway, about 10 laps shy of halfway. But still, if you got that many sets of tires, absolutely, you're crazy if you end up staying out right here. Just to even try to get track position because you're just going to get eaten alive. We'll see how this all plays out right here as we do see a couple of guys that was a lap down. I believe it was. Yes. You know, Cameron Mason, I believe he's going to stay out. I believe McCarthy and Jeremiah Holt, I think those 3 may end up staying out trying to get the wave around, get back on the lead lap. But we'll stick right here for just a second, see who ends up beating who off of pit road. And Kurtz, obviously, he's got that little bit of minor damage that he did get into the fence. Doesn't look too bad right now, but everybody, 4 tires. Pendleton gets out. Lyons gets out. Kurtz ends up beating out Jake Ellingson. How about that? Hell of a pit road battle right there, but Pendleton will lead them back to the green flag. Folks, we're going to take one quick commercial break, and we'll be right back here in just a few short moments.
Starbase 1552 Comics. We sell everything a collector would want. Comics, Funkos, action figures, and so many more. A real American comic book shop. We are online only. Starbase 1552 Comics. Find us on eBay Auctions.
Well, folks, we are back here at Dover, and obviously there you saw great sponsors here with the NASCAR 360 Racing Network, and obviously one of those being Premier Racing Setups. And if any of you have been able to get out there and check out the Door Bang and download it on Spotify, also give them a shout out. So obviously, if you want to get the setups and drive the setups that the Redneck Announcer drives, go check them out, PremierRacingSetups.com, and also put in a promotional code, which is NASRA, N-A-S-R-A, and you will get that 15% discount on your entire order, and also 15% of it gets kicked back to the North America Sim Racing Association. So go check them out, PremierRacingSetups.com. I've actually seen my lap times drop big time with those setups, Dean, and I've got a feeling every single one of you out there, if you get them setups, I got a feeling your lap time is going to drop as well.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there, Jacob, because a few of the commentators and producers and team members here, well, I'm a producer, I don't race, so I can't actually verify that. But a few people in the commentary team that do race have all said that those Premier setups are legit, my friend. They will get you a couple of tenths here and there, so... they're telling me that in the background. They're just not trying to, spice up because it's a fantastic advertiser at Sports Leagues. That's legitimate. They are going to help you go faster, so I would totally take advantage of that offer.
Yeah, absolutely, folks. We're not race car builders. We are race car callers. That's the way I look at it. We can't build a setup worth a damn, but we love to watch some racing and entertain you, the fans out there. Which shout out to Ray Ellingson every single Thursday night. Good evening to you as well. Hope you are enjoying the broadcast. And everybody out there in the chat, light it up. Who you think's going to win this thing? Is it going to be Ryan Pendleton, who's able to get the lead over Eddie Kurtz? Green flag is in the air, and Pendleton gets a fantastic jump. Line's right behind him as well up there on that top side. He's actually got a little bit of right rear damage. Now Kurtz, he's going to be able to battle hard on the inside. Line's trying to battle back down, but here comes Jake Ellingson in the 27. Lions gets loose, fences it. Here comes Talent. He's going to get by. Cruz is going to get by. Lyons, who was up on the top side, restarted second. He's going to drop all the way back to the 6th spot.
What a great restart. They were just going for it like it was the last couple of laps of the race there, Jacob. And going back to Ray and Jake as well too. Thank you for the very much kind words that you DM'd me. They're very happy with the Nazar, and they're very happy with the work that we, myself, and of course you commentators that put in there, of course with Cody and Brady as well too. So we strive to do our absolute best, and even though technical things arise, obviously, once again, those kind words will give us more and more motivation to bring better and a better broadcast for you. But you know what? We can only put the show on and set the stage and put the lights. These are the real performers, my friend, because you need actors on a stage, and these are the ones of the drivers.
Yeah, I'm sure do. And also Ray, shout out to her. She's out there saying that Pendleton's going to win it. She doesn't care about Ellingson. I'm just kidding, Ray. Obviously, you're going to be all for Ellingson. We know that. Jake's sitting up there in the 3rd spot. And obviously, she calls out Pendleton. Pendleton leading. Andy Kurtz, who's won 4 races this season, he's smack dab in the middle, running in 2nd. Check him out back here in the back. Tanner Bethea up on that top side. He's getting around Lucas Lyons. Lyons dropping back a lot as we got a big spin right back here in the back. I do believe it was the 86, or was it? Yeah, Brandon Wallace. He ends up going around as well. So another caution out here on the Speedway here at Dover.
I think it's James here first. I was looking at that. The timing was starting to go crazy for a second, my friend. And then, as you know, and it's very difficult. I'm trying to click on the driver as they're doing it. And then bingo, there's contact between those two. The 99 and the 85, I think you called it. And almost synchronized spins. There's a tap, the 82. Shouldn't do too much damage, should it, to the 28, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Abbott actually has got that much damage. He is going to ease down pit road, probably have that fixed, probably even look at it just a little bit because, I mean, any damage is bad damage, obviously. I mean, this place has got a little bit of it will, affect some aerodynamically, but wow, damn, what a send right there. Brandon Wallace, I mean, just there you see the snowplow effect, I guess you can say, but Goshen goes straight up and hits the wall. And obviously, folks, I mean, you see that there is safer barriers here at Dover, obviously, within the NASCAR side. But I'm telling you, I mean, Dane, when these guys hit these walls right here, they're not hitting anything that's just going to just barely even mush, I guess you could say. It's not a soft impact. It's like they're hitting a concrete wall when these guys end up backing up into the fence or going head on into the wall. There is no safe area out of it. It is straight up like hitting concrete. And that's going to be tough right there for some of these guys to see if they can try to get around with all this right there. There you see Mark Hollifield. He's an off pit road. And I do believe that is John Anthony back there in the Wolf car, I believe it is. There you see a couple other drivers coming off pit road. But I'm not surprised to see Pendleton, Kurtz, Ellingson, Talent, Cruz, those guys. I'm not surprised to see them not pit. The one driver I just now saw that was being Lucas Lyons. He did make that pit stop. I was thinking I was crazy there for a second, Nate. I was like, damn, did he really stay out? But he did go down pit road.
Yeah, and you going back to this thump, right, of course, in the virtual world, I don't know if you ever used that butt kicker stuff before, but if you, I've said in, and I don't have any of the butt kicker here. I don't want it for when I'm broadcasting because I get it every 5 seconds, wouldn't I, when there was an accident. But if you had that in your seats and stuff, and you can get it for your regular chair and that, it gives you a thump, my friend. So you hit that fence, bang, you're gonna feel it. Like you're gonna, oh, I've crashed. You know, this really, really hurt. Or if somebody even checks you up at the back there, and you get a little tap at the back of the car, you might not even have noticed it too much. That butt kicker gives you that little bit of, you know, that push, that little, that kick, literally, up the buttocks. And there you go. So either that, or Ray sits behind Jake or something like that and slaps the back of the chair every time he hits the fence or something. I'm not quite sure how that would pan out, but anyway, Jacob. But anyway, the butt kicker stuff does do it, my friend. That will simulate your crashing. And even rumble strips and things like that too, if you're on road courses and stuff as well too, when you go over them, rattle all your fillings out of your teeth.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually thinking about getting something like that, honestly, Dean, because I mean, I want to try to, I guess you could say, enhance my sim racing. Obviously, I just purchased a new sim rig today, so, and it actually does have the attachment to where you can put the butt kicker thing on there, so I may end up trying it out and seeing how it all works out. But
send some
I mean,
pictures
I've
in
heard
the
about
Discord,
them.
yeah, of your new rig, please, so I can check it all out. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Share
I
your
absolutely
rig.
will whenever it gets here. I bought it today, but it's being shipped. It's going to take about a week to get here, so hopefully it's obviously an upgrade from what I had. So we'll see how it all turns out, and hopefully it can make some lap times drop just as fast. I don't know really, but I mean, obviously, I've been wanting a new rig anyway, but it's got the butt kicker attachment. We're probably going to end up putting that bad boy on there to see how that turns out. But I mean, for me, honestly, Dean, if there's any other vibration other than the wheel, it's going to completely throw me off, because I've been so used to it for so long with the vibration in the wheel that if anything vibrates under my butt while I'm racing, I'm going to be freaking out. I really am.
Jacob, add the realism, of course. That's what I give you. Once again, like the rumple strips and things like that will make a difference. What about the shattering? And anyway, we'll have to get back to it. Thank you, everybody. We've got more chats out there at the moment. There, Jacob, we're going to get through there really quickly before Barney waves that flag again.
We'll see what happens right here.
Yeah.
Pace car rather is pulling off. Pendleton, Kurtz, Jake Allenson, Eric Talent. That's the top 4 crews. Bethay, Taylor, Haney, Cofield, Martinez. That's the top 10. Green flag in the air. Barney waving the flag. And Kurtz on the top side. Pendleton, wow, did not get a good restart at all. Stacked this bottom lane up. Stacked Jake up. Talent, he's going to be able to get around, but they ended up trying to go for third, but has to fall back in line. What happened on that restart? Ryan Pendleton did not go. Stacked that whole inside lane up. Kurtz, Talent, they trying to get away, but now Pendleton, he's going to fight hard and try to get back to second.
Yeah, I was actually curious. Was he caught napping on that one? Was he not paying attention? Of course, when they say green, 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 and hit the loud pedal, or was he a little bit too light on the gas pedal, and then, you know, oops, didn't quite get the power down enough, didn't want to, you know, overheat the tires there or spin the tires up. Battle for P2 car at the moment, so Ryan is under big pressure. There's Eric.
Well, and I'm just going back and looking at the replay right there, Dean. Actually, Pendleton, I mean, he didn't miss a gear, he didn't miss a shift or nothing. What he was missing was his back tires, because Jake Ellenson was all up in his back bumper and almost spun him out right there on the restart. Jake was trying to time it perfectly with Kurtz, but the thing about it is he jumped it just a little bit too much, ends up getting into the back bumper of Pendleton, and damn near spun him around right there coming off of turn 4. But no harm, no foul, everybody able to get it straightened out, and it worked out fantastic for Andy Kurtz. He was able to get away. Talent, he's actually dropped back now to the 6th position. He's already been bypassed by Tanner, Jake, and Alex Cruz. So, I mean, Talent at one point, who was up there behind Kurtz running in the 2nd spot, he's all the way back in 6th. I got a feeling he probably end up getting into the fence like some of these other guys. Here comes Jake on the inside. And honestly, I mean, Jake got into Pendleton, almost spun him out on the restart. Jake wants to go, and he's already going all the way up to the 3rd spot.
Job done. Licked the stamp and sent it there on Tanner. Tanner, of course, can come back. There's plenty of time, whether you're going to be saving your tires and things like that too. Sometimes drivers like to be in the dirty air there and take their own line rather than try to defend. So we'll see if that one pans out there. Jacob, yes, we're going to have to do something very exciting at the end, because what you mentioned there was quite interesting. Yeah, because I got to show the live pictures, and you can actually have a little replay of what happened at that one. We're going to have to talk about that, and we'll definitely do this for the NASRA network. A little picture-in-picture, so you can actually, when you're talking about that replay you're looking at there, we can throw it up there, Jacob. I think that's a big good thing. Let us know in the chat if you thumbs up if you would like to see that in the future broadcast, so you've got more action that we can provide you here on track.
Well, that's a surprise to me, Dean. That would be awesome to see, and every one of them out there in the chat light it up. If you love that idea, we would love to make the broadcast better if y'all are all for it, which I got a feeling, Dean, every damn one of them is going to be all for it. Everybody's going to want to see that. I mean, obviously, you know, with the great work that you do, I would love to see it personally. But we'll see what everybody else says out there in the chat. A couple of others out there. Richard May, good luck to the 82 of Brian Abbott. Well, Abbott right now, right outside the top 10, started 19th. He's doing all right now. I mean, he's up about 8 spots, trying to go 9. He's got to catch Cameron Wessenberg up here for this 10th spot. And Wessenberg not too bad either. Started 17th all the way up to 10th. But one of the biggest movers right now is the 55 of James Haney. He started 21st in the field. He's all the way up to 8th. That is straight up moving. And, you know, there you see, you got the Oreo right there on the car. He's the Oreo man here on Thursday nights. He's looking pretty good. Looks like he knows how to get around here at Dover.
Yes, he certainly does. And it's same pit stop strategy as well, too, for those drivers. So they're all, well, the top 10 there, Jacob, are boxed on lap 28. The rest of those, I say pit stop on 28. The rest of them are around 36 on that lap, so the fresher tyres will come a little bit into play, of course, later on and deeper we get into this one. But if you really look at that track map, Jacob, they are starting to spread out. There's no super close battles until about now, when just as the Coca-Cola machine looks to set up the inside of the RO. Just as I switch away there, Jacob, there's a switcheroo.
Yep, absolute switcheroo right there. Martinez, they were able to get
Jacob.
around Haney, but here we go. Pendleton got another switcheroo. Pendleton on the inside of Kurtz. Look right behind him. There's Jake Ellingson. Ellingson, who we talked about on that restart, got into the back bumper of Pendleton. Pendleton just blinked out, but now he's back. That has got to be devastating right there for Kurtz. That has got to seriously throw him for a loop as he keeps blinking right there just little by little. But Kurt's able to get away. Ellingson now, he's going to drop back, hold on to that 3rd spot. Tanner right there in 4th as well. Cruz up here started 3rd. He's up to 5th. But Pendleton, he's taking one more look, thinks different of it, jumps back in line. These guys right here, I mean, Pendleton wants to get up here. He wants to get that clean air that you was talking about, Dean. Don't want to be in that dirty air. Make that car tight and want to start pushing, start burning that right front, and start getting closer and closer to that wall. Pendleton wants to get some clean air, and he wants to get it right now.
And there is your top 4. This is almost like a deja vu, wasn't it, earlier in the race there, Jacob? The only difference, of course, is that Alex Cruz is just a little bit out of that picture to your right. But there you go, Andy Cruz, of course, Ryan and Jake are all back at it. I think because that little blinking before there from Ryan actually caught Jacob off, because he did have a little bit of a tank slapper to the fence. And that can, as you know, when you're driving and all of a sudden that car's blinking for a second, you got to do a little bit of prediction. That's what iRacing's going to do anyway. And riding on board Jacob. Hopefully that won't occur again. And here we go,
Jake
my friend.
Jake trying to send it down there on the bottom. Honestly, Dean, if I'm right behind somebody and they're blinking, I'm lifted at that point, because you don't know where they're at. You don't want to end up driving up through there and end up spinning them out if they end up, you know, getting out of the gas too much and you can't see them, and then all of a sudden they reappear and then they're already on the hood of your car. So, you know, that's usually, if I see people blinking, I try to lift out of the gas. Unless I got beef with them, you know, I'll lift out of the gas. If I already got beef with them, screw it. I'm just going to send it and hope like hell that they actually reappear on the hood of the car. That way I can just go ahead and send them around. Pendleton, he's going to send it down on the bottom side. Kurt's up on the top side. Pendleton's going to get a pretty good run right here. Kurt's trying to pinch him down on the apron, but Pendleton holding hard on that inside lane. He's going to get just a little bit of a run. May have enough. He's going to try to clear himself. Maybe, maybe not. Good hard racing right here at Dover. Clean hard racing at that. Pendleton, he's going to get clear. He's going to get the lead. Now Jake's going to fight hard on the inside for second.
Jake was fighting hard so he can keep on the back there of the 23 machine. So he can keep... Oh, that is the lap traffic gets out of the way. Thankfully, And sometimes, like we had during the week there, Jacob, but you weren't commentating. Oh, the 8's into the fence, gets a little twirly. Well, he's going to get eaten alive by the 20 on the inside. I think Tanner will see his opportunity. No. Shuts the door on Tanner. Very good defensive driving from Andy, but how long can he keep this up? As Ryan is our new race leader there, and he's got Jake in his tailpipe.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, they'll be able to make it on fuel right here, Dean. I don't see anybody running into a problem to where they're not going to be able to make it on fuel. It's the main thing. It's like I was talking about earlier. Are they going to be able to make it on the tires? That is the main thing right here. Nobody's really worried about that fuel gauge. They can make it on the fuel. It's the tires and how abrasive this track is. That's why they call it the Monster Mile, folks. This place is a straight up monster. It will eat you up, spit you out, and send you home packing big time. So that's going to be the main key right here, is how long these guys are going to be able to try to save tires. There you see Tanner Bethea. He's way up against the wall. I've actually seen the outside lane work here, but Bethea, he's going to try to work this top side, actually going to get the run and try to hold on to this fourth spot. He's going to make it work. Cruz was way down on the bottom side. Now right behind him, lap traffic right here. Lap car, Holyfield up in the top side. He hits the fence right up on the top side of Cruz. Almost cleans him out. Now Talent, he's going to make a run on the inside. But I'm telling you, Holyfield in that 29 right behind him, obviously fresher tires. He's got to be very, very careful because all these guys are racing for position. Holyfield back here 5 laps down. Dane, I don't like the way that this looks right here.
Yeah, and I think he's got to stick. Basically, it's almost like when you do multi-class racing on IMSA series and stuff like that. What you do is that you stick to a lane. He's going to go close up the fence. Oh, he's getting really, really out of shape here at the moment. He's got the speed clearly, but he doesn't have the control so much, Jacob. But going back to the multi-class racing, and you obviously got it clearly. You've got a GT3 versus a LMP3. You've got to stick to a racing line so you're predictable for the other drivers to go around you. That's what you do. But the problem in this case is that he's as quick as the other drivers. They just can't slice on by.
Yeah, he's able to get by that time, but I'll say this. That was risky right there. Obviously he's got the fresher tires, but there you see Holyfield. He's going to have those fresher tires. He's going to end up catching up to Kurtz, Ellingson, and Pendleton, who is the race leader right now. That's going to get very, very interesting when Holyfield gets up there. How all that's going to work out. You see some of this battling back here in the back of the field. Matt Knight's back here, as well as Brandon Wallace. There you see right there the Coca-Cola car back here. That's Martinez back here getting a little battling right now with the 17 of Wilmus. And also Matt Knight's back here as well in that 64. Wallace going to send it hard down on the inside. Wallace going to be able to get clear. Knight's right up his back bumper. Wow, Knight's, he's actually thinking about looking to the inside, but thinks better of it, jumps back around. James Haney up here right in front of these guys in that Oreo car. Like I said, 21st up to 11th. Cameron Wessenberger, 17th up to 10th, but Knight's back here. He ends up getting into the fence. Here comes Wilms. He's going to get by. But one thing I do want to keep watching right here, Dean. Yep. Holyfield is all up in the back bumper. He has caught Andy Kurtz. Obviously, the fresher tires, we already seen how out of shape he was. Is he going to make a desperate move to try to get around these top 3 guys? And what will these top 3 guys do?
Yeah, well, Ryan's here. Jake's a little bit further back. You could see Andy and you could see Tanner. But Tanner's got a big gap between him and Andy. But then Tanner's going to keep Alex and Eric behind. And yeah, we're going to go more about Brian. Here's your Brian in the 82 machine. Now, he's got a lonely track. Just get that lap times down there. I don't know if he's really putting the fastest laps in, but he's the one with the freshest boots in town. So with 13 to go, this is where he's got to put the pedal to the metal and just absolutely gas it. And this is when Jake has put the pedal to the metal, because 13 to go can go very, very quickly around here in Dover.
Absolutely it can. And Holyfield, I just watched it. He just smacked the turn 4 wall. He's going to be way down here on the bottom of the track. He's actually going to let everybody that is on the lead lap go ahead and ease on by, but we're going to stay right here with the battle for the lead. Pendleton gets in the fence. Jake, he's going to send it down the bottom. Damn near doored him going into one. Kurtz, he's going to try to get by. Not clear as of yet, but Jake Ellingson able to capitalize. Pendleton stuffed it in the fence. Jake able to get by. Here comes Andy Kurtz down on the bottom. He's going to get clear for second, and now he's going to try to chase down Jake Ellingson here for the lead and possibly the win here at Dover.
And Tanner lurking in the background, and with 11 laps to go, they're going, I don't know, but perhaps you've got to stay with it anyway, because if these three come together, this is a big gap for Jake. This is a huge gap for Jake to get the job done. Well, I was going to say the Jake Star. That only works for the Doug Star. Dougie, all the way back, of course, in P19. But here we go. Jake can get the job done. Ryan has probably thrown that one away, isn't it, by slapping the fence? Well, ain't over yet until Barney waves that flag, but is it going to be enough time for him to catch the rest there, Jacob?
I'm actually looking at his car right now, Dean. I mean, it doesn't look as bad as you would think. I mean, he hit the wall very, very hard, I guess you could say, but nothing really looking crazy on the right rear of the car. Right front actually looks okay. Maybe a little bit of a ding right there where the right front tire is. There you see the hood just kicked up just a little bit.
And
right
Tanner's
there on the
getting
right
around
front.
him almost.
Now Tanner's going to be able to get by him, so obviously there is some damage there to that number 23. Either that or he just may have just burned up that right front. And now he's just at the point where he's just got to let everybody go and just hold on and just hope for the best at this point.
I think he's got to nurse at home at this point. Yeah, points are points, of course. In a championship, you can't win every single race. It's overall, you want to get as many points as you can. Still the squabble back here, my friend. This is 13th, 14th, 15th. We have another little squabble there between 10th and 11th. As you can see, them battling on the track there, Jacob. But I don't want to go too far away from the race leaders because Andy is slowly crawling in. But then again, I'd say the fastest man on the track of late has been Tanner. And Tanner is on a rampage. He's catching Andy at a rapid rate. And there's the lap traffic coming up in play too there, Jacob.
Yeah, Tanner's all up in the back bumper right now of Andy Kurtz. There you see the lap traffic not too far ahead of both of them. That being John Anthony in the 00. He's right behind Jake Ellingson. John Anthony just went one lap down. So he's going to ease up to the top side. Kurtz is going to get by, but he's going to get by as well. Now, that just little bit right there where Kurtz had to get out of the gas, make sure he didn't jump up. Bethea was able to jump in. He may be able to capitalize. Here comes Tanner Bethea down on the bottom. He has a door on him. He has it there all the way up to the door. Bethea trying to get the run. This is all Jake Ellingson needs to see, honestly, Dean, because Jake is starting to check out. But if Bethea can get around Kurtz, can get clear, he got clear. He's got 5 laps to catch him. You talked about it. He's one of the fastest, if not the fastest car on the track. He's got 5 laps, 5 miles to catch Jake Ellingson.
Absolutely. I don't know if he's going to get it done in time, but he is definitely the man on a mission. He's gained 5 positions, and he just blinked there for a second on my screen. I hope that's only just me, as Jake is the man that's in the rampage at the moment. Wonder if can you hear Ray at the moment screaming? Go, go, go. I'm pretty sure you could, but Tanner's coming, and then I think Ray's going to be pretty much nervous because look at he's gaining. He's gaining pretty rapidly at the moment here. 4 laps to go. All Jake wants to do is see that counter click down, click down, click down. But all Tanner wants is that counter to stop.
Honestly, Dana, I got a feeling, yeah, Tanner is going to catch Jake Ellingson because he just knocked off 3/10 right there, all the way to half a second. Jake actually gets a little bit loose.
Out of the way.
Lap car way out of the way. Tanner actually knocked off 2/10 right there just a second ago. So, I mean, Tanner is catching him. Now Jake gets a little bit loose off of 2. Tanner, that's just going to close in even more and more. Don't count out Andy Kurtz, granted, he's about a second back from both of these guys. But catching somebody, Dean, and passing them is 2 completely different things. Tanner's all out of shape, ends up getting up into the fence. He is right on his back bumper. Like I said, catching him is one thing, passing him is another. Tanner wants to get a win here in the Veterans for Life ARCA Series. He may end up trying to move him out of the way, and if both of them get caught up in it, Andy Kurtz, he's sitting in the catbird seat.
And for the final lap almost at the race right now, if you're in Jacob's boots right now there, Jake, well, if you're at Jake's boots there, Jacob, what do you do? Just give me defensive, right? You can't really go too crazy here. You've just got to see if Tanner can find a way around. Over to you, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to do what he's got to do. He's just got to run his defensive line the best that he can. Off of 2, Jake Ellingson down on the bottom. Tanner's going to send it one more time. Almost has a hole. He's going to end up almost turning Jake. Both of them off of turn 4. Hell of a race. Jake Ellingson in the 27. He's going to get the win. Tanner Bethay's going to get second. Andy Kurtz going to be able to slide it home in that 3rd spot. Alex Cruz 4th. Ryan Pendleton will finish 5th. What a finish all the way down to the end right there, Dean. Tanner ran him down, but it's like I said, catching him is one thing, passing him is another. Jake Ellingson ends up getting the win.
And I'd say for the top, at least for the top 5, the top podium there, Tanner would, I mean, as much as Jake did a solid job, Tanner's rampage through the air there, quickest man. 5 positions getting it done. What a drive. He should be very proud of that one. Even if he didn't get the race victory, he was so close to it. And Jake's going to certainly want to celebrate that, as well as everybody out there. Ray's certainly going to be excited. Even Dougie, of course, will be super excited, even P19. But, of course, seeing the Milwaukee driver up there, spinning it around there for the 27 machine there, it looks like he's got a whole bunch of crew in there keeping the excitement with him, my friend. And the official results will pull up on the screen for you right now.
Absolutely wild finish all the way down to the end. Jake Ellingson, as we mentioned, he ends up getting the win. Tanner Bethay, I mean, he has come close so many times this season, Dean, but getting the 2nd place finish, it's got to not be too bad for Tanner. He'll get 2nd. Started 7th all the way up to 2nd. Andy Kurtz, he's going to end up from the pole finishing 3rd, so not too bad of a night for Mr. Andy Kurtz. Alex Cruz will finish in the 4th spot. Ryan Pendleton, unfortunately, he looked like he had a car that was capable of winning this thing and going all the way to the end. He's going to end up finishing right where he started in that 5th spot. Eric Talent, he's going to finish 6th right where he started. Here's where the biggest movers that I'm seeing in the field right here. James Goshen started 18th. He ends up finishing 7th. Brian Abbott, how about you out there? All those fans out there shouting it out to Richard May. I mean, Brian Abbott, he was wanting him to get up there and get into it. He ends up starting 19th. He ends up finishing 8th, so good run for Brian Abbott. Timothy Williams will end up finishing right where he started in 9th. And Chance Taylor's going to round out the top 10 from starting in the 13th spot. Brandon Wallace, he started 23rd, dead last on the field. He ends up going about halfway, give or take. He ends up finishing in the 11th spot. Cameron Wissenberg started 17th up to 12th. Michael McCarthy, 13th. Johnny Cofield, 14th. Matt Knights ends up finishing in the 15th spot. Eric Martinez will end up finishing 16th. James Haney, we saw the Oreo guy up there. He looked like he was going to end up getting a top 10 out of it. He's going to end up selling for 17th. The rest of these drivers, 1 lap down or more. Cameron Mason, 18th. Doug Ellingson ends up finishing 19th. John Anthony started 8th. He ends up finishing 20th. Mark Hollifield ends up finishing 21st. This is the big one right here, Dean. Lucas Lyons started 4th in this race. He's going to end up finishing 27 laps down in that 22nd spot. Jeremiah Holt ends up rounding out the field to 23 drivers for this race here for the Veterans for Life ARCA series here at Dover. Folks, we're going to take one more quick commercial break. We'll be right back with Jake, Tanner, and Andy. Folks, we are back here at Dover. Going to go ahead and bring in the man of the hour. That is Mr. Jake Ellingson. Ends up getting the win here tonight for the NRE Power post-race interviews. Jake, last time we were on concrete, you was able to get the win at Nashville. I sense a little bit of, I guess you could say, interesting stuff, I guess you could say, because you know how to get around these concrete tracks.
I wouldn't say that. This is definitely not one of my strong tracks. I actually do not like this racetrack whatsoever, but I always seem to do well here for some odd reason. But it was a great race with Ryan, Andy, Tanner at the end. Catching me from a few seconds back. Man, it was pretty wild, pretty entertaining for the fans. I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And you mentioned right there with Tanner closing in right there about the last 5 laps. Me and Dean were up here talking about. We were like, we don't know if he's going to be able to catch him or not. All of a sudden, knocked off 3/10, knocked off 2/10. I'm sure you were sitting there watching that as far as the interval goes. But when it got down right there the last 2 laps, obviously Tanner he hasn't won a race this season. He's come close a couple of times. Did you think maybe there was an opportunity for Tanner to maybe put the bumper to you, try to move you out of the way, or did you, or is that about what you expected was going to happen for the end of the race?
Oh, he was there. He could have definitely given me the bumper if he wanted to. About the middle of 3 and 4 on the white flag lap, I felt a little bump in the end on the rear end, and he was there. I mean, if he wanted to move me, he definitely could have. You know, Tanner's a class act guy. Always wants to race and pass clean. You know, I'm sure his win is coming pretty soon.
Absolutely, and I'm telling you, I mean, it was a hell of a finish all the way down to the end. Me and Dean were screaming at the top of our lungs. We're probably going to have to. I'll sit down with some cold beer after this one right here, try to get our throats lined back up. But Jake, congratulations on the win here tonight at Dover. And before we let you go, have you got anybody that you want to thank that made the win possible here tonight?
Definitely. I got to thank Veterans for Life, first and foremost, for getting this number 27 machine up in Victory Circle. Right Now Roofing, Jam Printing and Promotions, Redbeard Designs, B Speed for doing the broadcast on Tuesday nights, um, Premiere for doing the broadcast on Fridays, Premiere Racing Setups, and everybody else who makes this possible.
Absolutely. Jake Ellenson's second win of the season. Jake, congratulations on the win. Have a good weekend. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, sir.
It was Jake Ellison. I'm telling you, Dean, he had to work for that one right there because I'm telling you, Tanner, he's like he said. I mean, Tanner could have moved him at any point right there, but like he said, Tanner being a class act, I mean, hell of a race all the way down to the end by two very, very um, guys. I mean, two very drivers with a lot of class is what I'm trying to get out of my mouth right here. We'll go ahead and bring in second place finisher Tanner Bethay. Tanner, damn man, you were close. You were there. You were absolutely there. What I mean, I think I know the answer to this question, and I hate to even ask it, but what else could you have done different to try to get around Jake and try to get the win?
There was plenty of things I could have done different. Feel like I should have not have saved as long as I did, and I feel like I should have started making my moves a little bit earlier. But um, I'm not gonna dump Jake for the win or anything like that. I'd rather just race him clean. But I feel more happy with this win, knowing I raced somebody clean than moving somebody out the way and wrecking them and having them a bad race. So there's nothing really else I could have done. I'm happy where I finished, and that's pretty much it.
It shows a lot of class right there, Tanner, honestly, because there's a lot of people that would just straight up drive in there and just dump them. So, I mean, shout out to you for, putting on a show. I mean, but man, I mean, I'm telling you, you were just straight up coming through the field. You was able to save your tires, I guess you could say, better than the rest of the guys. And I mean, it's like you said, maybe should have, not saved as long, but I mean, it put on one hell of a finish and had everybody on the edge of their seats.
Oh yeah, that's what it's all about. Just putting on a show.
Tanner, I mean, I'll just give you an idea. Jake said in his post race interview, your win's coming, and I got a feeling that win's gonna be coming here very, very soon. But Jake or Tanner, excuse me, I already said Jake. Tanner, I got it all mixed up. Tanner, before we let you go, brother, you got anybody that you want to thank that made the second place finish possible here tonight?
I'd like to thank all my family and everybody that supports me. I'd especially like to thank you all for broadcasting and Goat Locker for putting this on and everyone that helps out Goat Locker with all those sponsors.
Tanner, congratulations on the second place finish. One spot short. I know you want to get that win, but it's like Jake said. I agree with him 100%. That win's coming. I believe in the very, very near future. Congratulations on that second place finish. Have a good weekend. We'll see you next week, brother.
You too, man.
That was Tanner. Dane, I kind of cut you off just a second ago, but I'm telling you, this kid right here, I think he's going places here in this Veterans for Life ARCA series. I got a feeling he's going to have a win coming very, very soon.
You said he worked hard. I was just going to do a song reference. You know, it feels like I'm getting Wesley back in here, isn't it? I was like, he worked hard for his money. And he worked hard for his money, and he did. And you keep an eye out for Tanner. Exactly. That is impressive because, you know, going over, I was just looking through the replays there as I was trying to show. He sliced and diced through. And you mentioned this on the broadcast too there, Jacob. You said one thing to catch, another thing to overtake. That man caught and overtook within 1 or 2 laps these drivers that are super quick drivers anyway that were leading this one, including, of course, Andy, that we're probably about to speak to right now. So we don't want to rub it into Andy right now, but if he is listening. But, you know, Tanner got the job done, and admirable to a driver as well, too, because you win championships by winning points, not necessarily by always winning the race. And, you know, him and Jay could have come together easily at the end of that one, but I think it takes a better man to settle down and say, I'll take P2, and I'll try to get him next time.
Absolutely. I mean, you mentioned that right there. You ain't got to get the wins. You just got to point them the best way that you can. I mean, throw it all the way back 2003, back when it was the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. When Matt Kenseth, he only won 1 race that whole season, he ends up winning the championship. So it'll be crazier to see how all the playoff stuff works. But you just mentioned it. Andy Kurtz up here finishes 3rd in the number 8 Budweiser Chevrolet. I love saying that, by the way. I really do. I absolutely love saying the number 8 Budweiser Chevrolet. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got to say it. No, it's not because of the beer.
No?
It's not
Okay.
because of the beer. No, I don't drink Budweiser. I don't even drink Bud Light. But anyway, we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But no,
Go
it
ahead,
ain't
go
that.
ahead,
It's
go ahead.
Coors. But anyway, go ahead. I mean, Andy Kurtz, I mean, 3rd place finish. You started on the pole. What else could you have done to be able to try to get up there and mix it up with Jake and Tanner?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I don't think I ever drove here where the car gets so tight on a long run. So I was definitely struggling, as I'm sure you guys saw in a longer run. Little late to the party, figuring out that you could run the middle lane pretty well and not burn your stuff up. So that's what Tanner was saying. He was actually saving tires up there. So definitely really cool to see. I think this track changed a lot since one of the updates a little while ago. So really cool to see that you could run other places, not just the bottom. So yeah, I mean, I thought it was a lot of fun. Had a ton of fun watching Jake and Tanner there those last couple laps. So yeah, congrats to Jake and Jake for his win and Tanner for an awesome run there at the end.
You know, and Andy, you actually brought up a good point right there just a second ago about the updates. Obviously, iRacing had an update earlier this week, and obviously, as Dean and me, and probably you as well, a lot of people experienced a lot of, I guess you could say, interesting issues with trying to log in and trying to get races to run. But that's not what we're getting at. What I'm getting at is you mentioned it about the updates and how everything changes. You guys, I mean, y'all got to go out there. Y'all got to race regardless of what the updates is. So when you see an update coming out on iRacing, does that change your mindset of like, well, wait a minute, there's an update on this track in this car, and I'm actually running in this league Thursday night or whenever it is. Does that change your mindset of how you're going to race when that night comes?
I mean, yeah, ideally, I would, do a little preparation for the race, and I would have learned that a little bit earlier than about halfway through the race when Ryan was passing me 2 times in a row in a long run. So, yeah, I mean, I'm talking about the the multi-groove update that they did couple of weeks ago now. So, yeah, I mean, this track's always been on the bottom, and yeah, it was just cool to see. I mean, especially hearing from Tanner, he was so quick there at the end. So, I mean, he was running the middle, the top, pretty much the whole run. He said. So I think that's great because this track, especially in this car, has kind of just been a train on the bottom, follow the leader. So, really cool to see that you can use up the whole track and not really worry about your tires.
Absolutely. Well, Andy Kurtz, who's still got 4 wins on the season, trying to do the drive for 5. Andy Kurtz gets third here tonight. And Andy, before we let you go, if you got anybody that you want to thank that made this podium finish possible here tonight.
Yeah, man. Yeah, thank you guys as always. As a 360 Racing Network, awesome broadcasts every week. So I've been having a lot of fun with you guys and everyone in this league so far this series. Want to thank Veterans for Life Foundation, Cruising Classics, Jam Printing and Promotions, Right Now Roofing, and Redbeard Design Company.
Andy Kurtz, the Budweiser, actually, no, it says Paul.
Yeah, what's the
on
poll
front
really
of it.
quickly?
Yeah.
1967 and 2024. Can you
That
just- yep.
yeah. I guess I haven't updated that. So, but no, that's cool. That's a really cool paint scheme that Lucas Lyons made a couple weeks ago that we ran. I guess a couple weeks ago. So it was for someone close to him. So he did a really good job making it look just like the the Budweiser logo.
So
it's
is
tough
it
to tell,
correct?
but, yeah,
Have
it's
I
really
got the
sleek there.
broadcast correct? So
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
that's
but
what you're running.
Yep,
Okay.
yeah, but you got, yep, that's correct. So yeah, he took the scheme I was running and put
Lovely.
put his name on there. So it's a cool little tribute to him.
And you had a couple of tank slappers. I was looking back in the replay, but that's not
Oh,
too
yeah.
bad. I think you weren't the only one. I think everybody had a little bit of a dice and slice with the fence, but overall, to
Yeah,
finish in
if
P3.
you're not trying. So
Yeah, there you go, my friend. Yeah, he called it. Hey, great job there, Andy.
thanks, man. Thanks, guys.
That was Andy Kurtz. Ends up getting that 3rd place finish. Awesome to see that right there on the hood, Dean. I didn't even see that until you actually
Neither did I. Yeah,
pulled that
that's-
up. I didn't even notice it the whole time. Hell, I thought it was just Budweiser all the way across. But I mean, Dean, what a race right here at Dover that we witnessed right here, all the way down to the end. Tanner got so close. I mean, you can't get much closer than that, other than, well, I guess 3 wide at Atlanta, like we saw with the NASCAR Cup Series. But your take on the race here tonight at Dover?
One thing I wanted to say is that you called this like a short track version of, and you had to do it right, Talladega. It's just like everything is Talladega with you, my friend. But why not? It's the closest track to your hometown, really. But this is fantastic. It was really good wheel to wheel racing. Only a few cautions, my friend, considering a good stack pack of 23 gladiators that went out there in the arena. And of course, not everybody's going to have, the glorified day there to see the Emperor at the end of the day and survive the gladiator ring. But some of them didn't. But those battles that you saw there, Ryan, of course, he had a big tank slapper there. Alex Cruz there, Andy Kurtz, Tanner, Jake. You got to forget Brian was also up there. We had other bigger gainers too. Brandon Wallace, he finished 12 positions gain in P11, so that's crucial points as well too. There was so much. He even had Cameron, the 28 machine, wasn't it? Getting loosey-goosey everywhere with those drivers as a lap track car. And he still managed to actually, believe it or not, finish in P12, my friend. And he has the lowest I rating, if you really want to take into consideration, of everybody. So that's a solid job for him as well. Even though you're a few laps down, he's still putting the performance in. But Jake, yes, I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope everybody else out there did.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I mean, every single time, we come to Dover, broadcasting or racing, however you want to look at it, I absolutely love this place. I would love to go see this race in person. I hadn't had the opportunity yet, Dean, but I got a feeling, hopefully in the near future, hopefully I will be able to come up to Dover and check out a real race. But I'm telling you, I mean, on the sim, it puts on a hell of a race. I'm sure it puts on a hell of a race in real life as well. But folks, I'm telling you, it was a fantastic race. Hopefully everybody out there loved it. Also, want to shout out every single one of the sponsors: Jam Printing and Promotions, Veterans for Life Foundation, all the sponsors within Goat Locker as well. There you see NRE Power for sponsoring the post-race interviews, all the sponsors that puts into this right here. Want to also thank every single one of you, the fans out there, for coming out on a Thursday night, watching family, friends, fellow co-workers, however you want to look at it, coming out here cheering on these guys out here who put on a hell of a show every single Thursday night. And it's one of the highlights of mine and Dean's week. I believe I can speak for Dean on that one. It's a definite highlight of our week to come in here, interact with you fans, and also see some fantastic racing. Also, shout out to the drivers, because these guys, like I said, put on a hell of a show every single Thursday night, and they do a good job of it. And we see some fantastic racing. Also want to shout out to Patrick DeBeck, everybody over at Goat Locker for everything that they do. And shout out to Bray LaBeouf, Tyler Detmer, Cody Knott, all those guys within the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. But Jake Ellison gets the win here tonight at Dover. Also, go over and check out Door Banging Download on Spotify. I talked about it earlier. I'm going to be talking to some of these guys here, I think, in the near future, getting them in for the Beer Buddy segment, or the guest segment, I should say, on the show. Going to be getting some of these guys in here really, really soon. For the Australian, Dean Biggles, I am the redneck announcer, Jake Reeves, saying as I always say, be safe, be kind, and be fast. And we'll see you next week.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn. It's a new day, it's a new life. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you